Darren Sutton, glad to have you back in Oklahoma City. The East batting order: Jacob Kendall, Michael Torres, Luis Almeida, Carter Smith, maybe head and shoulders above everyone out there, but we'll be excited to see him work. Ethan Murray, Aiden Harris. We love Micah Matthews on this show as well. We'll tell you more about him. It's Salas, it's Adrian Jimenez, it's Dylan Atkins, and Xavier Rivera, Jax Bishop, Eric Parker. We got to know him coming on the air. That is the starting lineup for the East squad. Kibru Pam is on the mound, the right-hander. He's a SoCal guy, so you know that I'm a little bit biased growing up in Southern California, loving the California athlete, but he'll play in the outfield, certainly with a ton of talent. And this is a young man with his travel team, MVP Hustle, Pacific Baseball Academy, a couple of good travel teams. He's been active, he's been busy, and both of you guys have gotten good scouting reports. David, I'll let you go first.
Yeah, Kibru Pam is a two-way player. He gets the nod to start the game as a two-way player. That's impressive. He's a three-pitch guy up to 84 miles an hour. You see he's working from the stretch. But, Runes, I think you look forward to seeing him as a hitter coming into this game.
Yeah, the bat speed was really impressive. And, I'll tell you this. I just love his whole getup. He seems to play with great joy and fun. I'll even throw this. I love the way he wears his hat. He just wears his hat a little uniquely, and I'm down for that.
Absolutely. As we peek in from up above, Jacob Kendall digs into the box from Jacksonville, Florida, to start things. This is a middle infielder. He can play in the outfield with his athleticism if you need him there. And the first pitch is high. 1-0 the count to Jacob. 5-star his travel team. You can see the height and the length there for Jake as he holds that bat away from his body.
Darren, I'm going to throw some numbers at you from Jacob Kendall's 82-game perfect game career, in which he has hit .557 with 12 home runs and 109 RBIs in those 82 games, most for 5-star. And sorry, I did not get the OPS on that.
That's all right.
Yeah, that's not a small sample size right
No,
there.
it isn't.
Love it.
Well, we know the on-base percentage is certainly higher because he's walked at least once, right? So I'm sure that beyond that batting average is probably an on-base of about 650 as he shoots that one back up into the seats. Well, David, so at this age, again, you talked about it coming on the air. You've immersed yourself at this, 13U age group. You rarely see pitcher-onlys at this age group, right?
Oh, most definitely. In fact, I saw in the roster I have in front of me, in the roster that's on the PG website, a lot of them have been switched. And we see this in younger groups, the 14-year-olds and the 15-year-olds as well, is they haven't decided yet. The game hasn't decided for them, is probably more accurate. And there's no reason when you're 13 or 14 to think of yourself specializing. Yes, Samuel Cozart, we are not going to see him bat today, but he's a 6'6", 220-pounder whose future is pitching. But I think pretty much for every other pitcher in this game, we're going to see him hit, we're going to see him play in the field.
Good breaking ball and even better take. But, Mike, you have to think a guy like Cozart, when he goes back home and plays for his high school team, if he's not pitching, he's probably playing first or right field and hitting homers.
Yeah, eventually, so here's the only caveat. He played varsity as a 7th grader, so maybe he was a pitcher only because everybody was 6 years older.
Got some help up in the zone, little run on the fastball. Kendall goes down on strikes.
I'll tell you guys, Kibru Pam, he's very unique. His arm stroke is very short. His hitting stroke is very short, very direct to the baseball.
Michael Torres gets his call. He's out of Miami, Florida. All tournament at the 14U World Series, young Mr. Torres. And he plays for Elite Squad. That's his travel team. Good looking breaking ball, strike one. Pam spins it in there. Danny will spin a tail on Pam as well. Danny?
I learned a little bit more about his family today. Adopted at 4 from Ethiopia. Mom Jill, Dad Todd. He said he comes from a very sporty family and that they've taught him how to work as hard as you can. He looks up to Kenley Jansen. And he used to play soccer, his travel team, LA Surf. He said he gave that up actually to focus on baseball. And soccer has taught him how to be more fit and that there's no spot to pause. And he told me, by the way, guys, his English is so good, but he's still working on that.
Good stuff, Danny. Boy, great insights there on the life of Kibru Pam. That was a great report.
Looking forward a decade or so on what could happen, I'm pretty sure there's never been an Ethiopian-born big leaguer.
Well, he's on the path. He's paved the road to this point. He's on the path. He's dealing with Luis Almeida. Let us introduce him. He's out of New Jersey. Son of a 25-year firefighter, Hector, who recently retired. And so knows of sacrifice and safety does Luis Almeida. David, you saw him at 13U National.
Yeah, he's a good hitter, but I want to see him play defense at shortstop. He plays defense with such joy and such skill. He's one of these young men who he wants every single ball hit at him at shortstop. And if you're the coach of his team, you'd probably agree with that, because he's very talented at shortstop, even at 6'2", at 13 years old, fully coordinated, but does have some power in his bat. You have that leverage at 6'2". You've got to have some power.
Definitely the actions at short stand out. He does not – he's got the actions of an 18-year-old, not a 13-year-old. By the way, gentlemen, travel team name Real Ballers. Count me in on that as well.
You like that?
That very much. That's strong.
You're not going to forget it.
Nope.
Nor the Motor City Hit Dogs.
Sets the tone.
That one's outside. He earns himself a walk.
Would you rather have that or Josh Baez from the All-American Classic with his what was Josh Baez?
Beast Mode, I think.
Beast Mode.
Yes.
Beast
Also
Mode.
very strong.
That was my favorite from the All-American Classic.
All for making a statement.
Well, Carter Smith has made a lot of statements, and he's done a lot of it this year. Gulf Coast Monarchs, one of his travel teams. He's a Floridian, 13U National, hopped up on the mound and threw 83 miles an hour, ran close to a 7-flat 60. And again, there's height for a young man who's 13. This is 6 feet 2 inches of frame. Chokes up on the bat a little bit. He's tied up. Well, he's choked up. He fought it off, and he will take that all day long. Played well in right field, though. Fired on a hop. It just skips on by. Boy, that was played well out there in right. Travis Friend pounced on that ball. Well, for Smith, it may be on the knuckles, but strong enough, Mike, to earn this base hit.
Yeah, and just love the aggressiveness early in the count. Love the guys going up there ready to hit. And I think that's probably why Smith is choked up on the bat. He's got such long limbs and levers. Great hustle right there.
He's a good one. We'll hear his name called quite a bit today. Ethan Murray's from Beaufort, Georgia. Number 1 on that jersey. I'd like to say the crimson or the maroon jersey, but then it's the cream on the back and it flips. I think that is cool. That is a cool look. Almost looks like it's the same uniform, yet very different when you walk up on them.
All week the uniforms have been spectacular. Well done.
Cody Barnes gets a lot of credit for all the work he does with Ben Ford. Ben Ford, a vice president of development nationally and internationally. He's kind of the brains behind this game, really. He and his father, Jerry Ford, the founder of this company. And Jeremy Brown has to get credit of being one of the founders of this game as well. Fine scout for PG. But the artist and the man who is so creative with the uniforms and does a great job is Cody Barnes. So we've seen some wonderful unis this week.
Yeah, bravo, CB. Well done.
You're such a baseball guy. You always go nicknames.
That's right.
You're such a baseball
Calling someone by their first name is usually a bad sign. You're in trouble. Something went wrong.
1-2 the count. Breaking ball, it's rolled foul up the third base line. Look, you casual baseball fans, just watch your local team. I don't care who your local team is. Watch now, especially since it's in Zoom. Watch the press conference on the regional sports game of the press conference of the manager after the game. You tell me how many players he calls by their real name.
Yeah.
Go ahead and tell me.
The answer is 0.
And it's only in baseball.
Yeah.
No other sport. It's just a thing. 1-2 the count. Good, well-located fastball at 82 miles an hour. We've had both pitchers, and I think what's fun about both pitchers, ice water in their veins, runners on third, big strikeout pitches to get out of messes. An inning in the books at the PG 13U Select Festival.